Hello, folks. Welcome to another exciting episode of Listen in 3D. This is episode number 66. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool.
And I'm Netta, aka Wondrousnet.
And together we are both Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. Like what you see and like this video. Comment, share it around, and please subscribe. That's the most important thing you can do. Subscribe. If you want to help us out when you do subscribe, just click on that notification bell. That way you know when all our videos and everything go live. So we do have I guess, kind of exciting episode for you guys. Well, I think all our episodes are exciting, but a really exciting episode for you guys today. We are doing another soundtrack, and if you guys were hoping it'd be like a different subject matter in terms of what kind of movie it is, you guys will be a little bit mistaken. We promise you the next soundtrack we do will not be a basketball movie. Before we get started, though, Netta, did you enjoy the movie as well as you did the soundtrack?
Yeah, a lot of like reliving my childhood with it, so it was pretty cool.
All right. If you guys followed us, the first soundtrack we did, another big basketball movie in the 90s. What soundtrack are we doing today?
So today we'll be doing the Space Jam soundtrack. It was released November 12th, 1996. 3 days later, the movie was released November 15th, 1996. The soundtrack was certified 6 times platinum and peaked at number 5 on the R&B and hip hop album charts and number 2 on the Billboard 200. It had singles including I Believe I Can Fly, Space Jam, Hit 'em High, Fly Like an Eagle, For You I Will, and I Turn to You. There were music videos for all of the singles. Plus, there was a music video for The Winner. There were a lot of featured artists on this one, of course. Seal, Coolio, Quad City DJs, R. Kelly, Be Real, Busta Rhymes, LL Cool J, Method Man, D'Angelo, Monica, Salt and Pepper, Robin S., Barry White, Chris Rock, All for One, Changing Spaces, Jay Z, Spin Doctors, Biz Markie, and Bugs Bunny.
One thing I will say is I do not know how you be reading all those intros about the episodes we do every week. So I just want to applaud you on that one. Yeah, soundtracks. One thing we don't do them every episode, but when we do, I know it's going to be a lot of artists, and we want to recognize those artists, even if it's a song we don't discuss in particular. But thank you for that, Netta. So, Space Jam. Where do I start? It was a big movie in the 90s. The soundtrack may have been even bigger, 6 time platinum soundtrack. I was surprised it didn't peak at number one on any of the charts. Well, number two on the Billboard 200, but I was a little surprised it didn't peak number one. I don't know. Maybe it was just people's taste back then, but it's definitely gone over with people over the years, I would say. So, again, so I don't want to make this episode so long because, well, it might be very long. So if it is, we apologize. Hopefully you enjoy our conversation. But um, so a little bit of, I guess I'll just start with what I saw first, and let's just go Looney Tunes. So this movie combined two of my childhood things that I did. Watching cartoons, Looney Tunes, and playing basketball. We'll start with Looney Tunes. Like I said, I primarily watched this show on Nickelodeon for the most part. That's where I think a lot of people probably watched it. I know the Cartoon Network, Time Warner, they acquired it a little later, but still throughout the '90s, it was still airing on Nickelodeon for the most part. So that's where I primarily watched the Looney Tunes. If you want to know more history about the Looney Tunes, I can give you a link in the description to Pop Arena. He goes through a bunch of old Nickelodeon programming that aired over the years. He did a really good one on the Looney Tunes, so definitely check that out. I'll link it in the description for you guys. Shout out to Pop Arena once again. But it was that's how pretty much got familiar with all the characters from Bugs Bunny to Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Wile E. Coyote, the Roadrunner, Foghorn Leghorn, all those guys. So that's watching that on Nickelodeon day in and day out was how I got familiar with that. And then like 2 years before this movie came out is when I really started getting into basketball, particularly NBA basketball. And Michael Jordan, being the greatest of all time. Just following him, and he was big in the '90s, and this movie came out after his first retirement, so I was familiar with a lot of the players that made cameos in this movie, from Charles Barkley to Patrick Ewing, Grandmama Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues. I know you remember her. I know you remember Grandmama. Don't pretend that you didn't.
I I didn't know that was his nickname.
Grandmama, Family Matters. Don't learn about it. Come on, you know Grandmama. And I'll send you some videos later on that. Grandmama, got to re-educate you there. And Sean Bradley. So I was familiar with those guys, and just the other players that you saw throughout the movie. So yeah. So yeah, it really brought back like a lot of childhood memories, and just makes me feel very old. Well, maybe not that old, but or very young, very young, very old. So it combined like a lot of that for me, and the best of both worlds, the NBA combined with Looney Tunes. You know, what more can you ask for? You get Space Jam. Now, I have not seen the second movie, but the first movie, I will say, I one thing we do when we do soundtracks is we do our best to look at the movies, and I'll say it did bring back like a lot of memories. Some of the jokes I understand maybe a little better now as an adult, and what some of the direction they were going in. But for the most part, great movie, a lot of cameos. Larry Bird, Bill Murray. Just list goes on about who was in this movie, and just it's a classic movie, classic soundtrack. I mean, that's all I could pretty much ask for. Any memories of Space Jam as you watched it or listened to the soundtrack?
Oh yeah, I was 6 when Space Jam came out, and I really remember it as like a magical movie. I watched a lot of shows and movies and stuff when I was a kid, but this is the only one I really remember as magical. Uh, Looking back, I think it's kind of along the lines of what you said. It's like these things in childhood that combine the cartoons and sports. I used to love sports. I was playing soccer, basketball, softball. I loved them all. So it had sports, cartoons, and music all bundled into one.
Yeah,
So
can't
this
forget
is
the mu-
all,
yeah, can't forget the music as well.
yeah, all right up my alley. But re-looking at it as an adult, I really saw even more brilliance in the movies. I love movies in general that incorporate actual historical events into the
Yeah.
story. Forrest Gump did it. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button did it. A more recent show called Newsroom did it.
Oh yeah,
But of
Newsroom.
all of the shows and movies like this, I feel like Space Jam did it best.
Yeah.
I particularly I love the way they re-envisioned the story of Michael Jordan's retirement with this Looney Tunes twist
Yeah.
and this hip hop and R&B soundtrack. It's like they were like, look, you think you know the story of Michael Jordan's retirement. Well, we're going to give you what was really happening behind the scenes. And it's a to top it off, it's a very touching story,
Yeah, it
with
is.
his dad and with his family and everything happening and the music takes it to another level.
Yeah, it
So
did.
I was really excited to review this soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, I know we talked about it a while back. I know you and I both, and I think it did a very good job of just putting fiction in real life events. His first retirement in 1990, what, three, I believe. Yeah, so they just pretty much envisioned that, and pretty much just went from there.
Yeah, so he wins his third straight championship in June 1993. His dad dies in July 1993. He retires from basketball in October 93. Then he returns in March 1995. A year and a half later, he wins the championship. after he just has a 2-word press release, I'm back. And then in November 96, right after he wins the championship, Space Jam drops.
Mm.
So what a great story. You can't this is not
Yeah,
something you can really write.
yeah, and then after this movie drops, he won 2 more titles.
Right.
Can't
And
forget that.
I know by the time they're making this movie, they might be thinking like, his legendary status is already solidified and not even
Yeah.
knowing like he's only halfway to what he will really be. Like it's incredible.
Yeah, it was yeah, I think the writers couldn't have written it any better way than what they did, and, oh my god, it's just yeah, they yeah, props to the writing team on this one, so they did a very good job. Now, I still need to see the second one. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I've heard mixed reviews on it. I heard it's not as good as this one, but we can. Have you seen it out of
Yeah.
curiosity?
Yeah, I've seen it, and I'm like a major LeBron stan. I've seen it. It's not as good as this one. It can't be.
No, didn't think so.
Sequels are not as good. It's not the same kind of story, but it's cool. But of course, it's not the original.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so yeah, I figured as much, and I also heard. I know, like when they were shooting it, not a lot of current day NBA players wanted to be in it for whatever reason. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've heard they probably could have used a little more. It seems like the first one, like they got like a lot more, was like way more NBA players than so.
Yeah, they might feel like, well, you think you're the Michael Jordan and I'm just the Charles Barkley. I'm the man or whatever, but you know.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, so those are our thoughts on the movie and everything. So I gotta go to the album artwork. Well, I guess it'd be the movie poster. It was pretty much the same thing. Kind of reminds me of NBA Jam. You got Bugs Bunny on one side, Michael Jordan. I don't know if you ever did you ever play NBA Jam?
I played it, but I don't remember what the cover of it looked like.
Well, not the cover. So like the startup screen where you're like selecting your team, and it's just like two people. Say you go to the Phoenix Suns, for example, you see Charles Barkley and Dan Marley or something. Just naming two random players. So I mean, so it's kind of like that. Like you're about to play some 2-on-2 basketball. That's what I get the feeling. But one thing I think the Space Jam did kind of miss on a little bit was it didn't have a video game. I think the only video game that it had was that Bugs Bunny b-ball photo image that I sent you on Discord, and that came out like a year before this movie dropped. So I figured if it had like incorporated like a video game into it, it would have made a lot more money. Because SNES, Sega Genesis, they were big at the time. So
Yeah, it would have went pretty crazy. I like the cover. You got two icons, Bugs Bunny, Michael Jordan. They're both looking very intense, and you got space in the background. I thought it was really cool. I really love how they use this Looney Tunes logo.
mhm,
It could be a net, like a basketball net, and it could be like a ring, like the rings around Jupiter or Saturn or whatever. And
yeah,
it goes along with the space theme. And then the name of the movie itself, Space Jam, it works perfectly. It's like a double entendre, like Space Jam as in like a otherworldly
mhm,
musical soundtrack, or Space Jam as in dunking on aliens from outer space. So
yeah.
it could go either way. I thought it was very very good concept.
Yeah, yeah, great cover. I mean, for the most part, yeah, space in the background, jam. Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny. Looks like someone's in trouble with the two of them together. All right. So definitely that's good with the artwork. All right. So we've talked enough about the movie. I guess we may bring up whatever music we've heard and scenes in the movie later on, but uh, before we get into singles, let's get into beats production. What were your thoughts on the production of the soundtrack? Best beats.
my my favorites were Fly Like an Eagle and Space Jam.
Those were your favorite beats. No, for me, it was Basketball Jones. Also like the beat to Hit 'em High and Buggin', I think, was a very creative beat too. I gotta give it a Buggin', but I mean, in terms of yeah, it's kinda tough to just pin one, but if I'm going creativity, I gotta go Buggin'. I thought that was a really good beat. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right,
Yeah.
so album singles. So, like Netta announced, there were 6 singles. So, for the interest of time, we're just gonna discuss the top 3, and then after that, it's pretty much gonna be free for all with our favorites. So, first single we'll discuss. We'll go with the title track, "Space Jam." I'll let you start this one off, Netta. What you got?
I thought the verses were pretty good, but what really stood out to me is the girl singing on the chorus. Everybody get up, it's time to slam down. I really loved
Hmm.
her chorus. That was the part I really remember. Like that's the part
Hmm.
I could join in immediately after like 20 years. And I did like how the guy on the verse is like hoop hoop there it is hoop there it is. I thought that was a good little change up. And I like the placement of the song in the movie.
Yeah,
It coincides with like the passage of time. You got Michael Jordan in 1973 hooping with his dad, um, and then this song plays, and there's this whole montage of his pictures from high school and college, and his Olympic pictures, and his iconic slam dunks, and then him with the finals trophy, and then after the song plays, then he's retiring. So this
yeah.
song is just like a huge passage of time, and it was like an excellent song to like hype you up for the movie. What did you think of it?
Um, it's well, it was shout out to the Quad City GJs. It seems like any song they made in the '90s was gonna be a party song. It was meant for you to get down to. I will say that. With that being said, definitely placement of the song was great, and with like you said with the montage, they did a very good job of just putting Michael Jordan's best years all together. Like he definitely made it, from his college years to his high school years to, what he did in the NBA, his championships, his Olympic. Yeah, I think they had some of his Olympic stuff in there as well. So, you know, he, they did a very good job with the placement of the song. And then, just, it's just, feel good song to, just dance out to and just easy to sing along. Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got a real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Space, here's your chance. Do your dance at the Space Jam. So I mean, yeah, anyone can just jump in and sing along. As for the verses, they're just okay. Like I said, it's the Quad City DJs. They want you to get down, have a good time, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, they really weren't my cup of tea back in the '90s when it came to hip hop. But I mean, it for the most part, good song, good placement of the song. So for me, good single, but it was only like mid for me in terms of just if I was ranking all the tracks. If I'm being perfectly honest.
I feel you. It was up. It was up there for me. A lot of it is nostalgia. Not gonna
Mm,
lie, but
okay,
it was
oh,
pretty up
that's
there for
fair.
me.
That's fair. All right. Second song. Well, both of them is like the same subject matter, but we'll go with this one because I think this one was a little. We'll try to save the best for last. So we'll go with the Seals "Fly Like an Eagle." Once again, I love the placement of it in the movie, where, yeah, it was in the movie twice, where he starts training with the Looney Tunes, to get ready for the Monstars, and then also like the scene at the end of the movie too, where he's back in the NBA and fly like an eagle, and then he's about to dunk when he's going down in a game against the Orlando Magic, I believe. So yeah, so yeah, so I think the song was very well placed. As for the song itself, this was up there a little more. This song never gets old for me. I mean, I enjoy it. Very good song, very good with uh with the lyrics and everything. Time keeps on slipping, slipping into the future. Just I know I'm not the best of singers. And then just I like the end of the song where you know, fly like an eagle, wanna fly, fly like an eagle. That spirit carry me. Yeah, so yeah, I like I like that. I like how they keep saying like fly like an eagle, wanna fly like toward the end of the song. So that's kind of what did it for me. Great overall song, very good. Um, what you got?
This might be very bad, but I didn't know Seal sang this song, and I didn't even know Seal was a singer. I've only ever seen Seal like in like Gap commercials, so I legitimately thought Seal was a model. So when I'm finding out like, oh, that was Seal, this is like a great song. This is an iconic song. It was soulful, it was inspirational. It was a great song, and I too like the placement in the movie. Like you see the Looney Tunes working out with like Richard Simmons, and they're
Oh
waiting for
yeah,
Michael Jordan to come back,
that was
and then
funny.
Michael Jordan steps in, and the camera pans from his feet to his head, and all of a sudden you hear do 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 do, and
Yeah.
it was so good. And then Michael Jordan is just like, let's see if I remember how to do this. And so it was great. I love the way that they placed it in the song, and in the music video you see Seal singing and Michael Jordan's like flying through the
Yeah.
air with the ball, and of course he does that famous arm stretch from the end of the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, the music video was pretty
So
good also, for Horde. I like how, the they pretty much recreate that first scene in the movie with the music video, and the scenes for the
yeah.
movie I think kind of do it justice also. So, very good song. Hopefully you don't get crushed in the comments for not knowing who Seal was, but I
Okay,
appreciate
I gotta keep
I appreciate your honesty. I really do.
it real.
I appreciate your honesty. Okay, so last song we'll is R. Kelly's "I Believe I Can Fly." So, just a disclaimer here: we don't condone what R. Kelly has done. So I know some people are just sensitive to that. So I just gotta say it. So bottom line, we're just simply discussing the song that he sang. So I believe I can fly. So, I'll let you start this one off. What you got for I believe I can fly?
Yeah, I mean, along those lines, the song, it's a beautiful song. The song is fire. It does give me a sense of cognitive dissonance because there, it's so hard to understand like how such profound beauty and thoughtfulness and inspiration can emanate from somebody who is capable of such things.
Yeah,
Some people say like I would never listen to him again and stuff like that. I couldn't. I mean, it might be selfish, but I can't do that to myself. I think I will probably listen to this song many more times throughout my life.
yeah,
It's unfortunate what he's done,
yeah. It's
but
very unfortunate.
what it's a beautiful song. I love when he says, "I'm leaning on the everlasting arms." I like when he's talking about visualizing your
Mm,
goals. If I can see it, then I can do it. He talks about believing in yourself. If I believe it, there's nothing to it. It's just such a touching song. Um, I really like it, the placement of this one in the video. It's the first song that
oh
plays.
yeah, in the
You
movie.
know,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, when again he's shooting hoops and talking to his dad, and um, his dad is like, and he's telling his dad, "I hope to be a championship basketball player one day," and and then he says, "And once I do that, I want to play baseball just like you, Dad." And he's like, "Oh, baseball, that's a sport."
yeah.
And
His dad played
so
baseball. Yeah,
that song is playing, and it's such a beautiful song and so fitting for Michael Jordan's story. It's probably one of R. Kelly's best songs ever, and really one of the best songs of the '90s.
yeah. I agree with you there. Yeah, it's unfortunate what he did, but I mean, one thing I will say: good music is good music. So I just, overlook. I mean, like you said, I will probably listen to the song again and again. Maybe not. It's not. It probably won't be in my like regular rotation or anything like that. But I'm not skipping the next track if it comes on. Just first and foremost, and then love the placement, how they had it at the beginning of the movie. As for the music video, I thought it was done very well. Kind of like where Michael Jordan grew up, kind of, with the fields and everything. So I really enjoyed the music video, the beat, really great beat also. Um, just chorus really did it for me as well. I believe I can fly, and just the pre-chorus. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. That's probably like my favorite lyrics throughout that whole song. So, um,
Yeah.
just it's still the anthem of this movie in my opinion. Even Space Jam is like a very close second, but I would have to say if you think of like Space Jam, if this was like one song you can put on like the whole soundtrack to sum it up, it'd probably be I Believe I Could Fly. So
For sure, I agree.
yeah. So it's a very good song, and yeah, so that's just very good, and that's probably one of the reasons why it went 6 times platinum. So all right, so we've gone to the point, the part of the episode where we go over our favorites. This was very tough, but I have a feeling. Well, I'm guessing one of the ones that I'm pretty sure you had a tough time with this. I'm guessing one of the songs that you liked wasn't a single. So, but you can just go ahead and I could see if I was right or not. So, what were your three picks? I'll let you go first as usual.
Yes, that's true. I've got I Believe I Can Fly, number one, Space Jam, and For You I Will.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were gonna like that song, but I didn't. And then any honorable mentions?
Yes, I have a few. Fly Like an Eagle, Giving You All That I've Got, All of My Days, and I Found My Smile Again.
I knew that was gonna be one of your either. I found my smile again. Yeah, I knew that was D'Angelo. Yeah, I knew that was either gonna be one of your favorites or one of your honorable mentions.
Yeah, that was fire. That was fire. I like that one.
All right, for me, I had quite a. It was very tough. None of the singles we discussed were my three favorites. Even though I think that the theme of the song of that whole album is probably I Believe I Can Fly. It definitely is honorable mention, but I had to go, and I know this is my bias speaking here. Coolio's the winner, since I know I'm a big Coolio fan. And then the other two songs I went with were Hit 'em High. That's just a fire hip hop song in general. And then believe it or not, and I just kept coming back to this one, Basketball Jones. That was just funny.
Okay.
And I know it wasn't really any singing in there, but I had a. It was one of my three favorites. Honorable mentions: Fly Like a Eagle, I Believe I Can Fly, I Found My Smile Again, For You I Will, and Buggin' with Bugs Bunny. Honorable mentions. The other songs were great. The only songs I didn't really enjoy too much were that Salt and Pepper Upside Down Round and Round song. I didn't like that one too much. And then That's the Way I Like It, that the Spin Doctors and Biz Marquee. It was all right, but it just didn't really like the original version, and the cover was like whatever. But everything else on the album was really good. All right, so I'll go with the. Well, since I had more than you, I guess I could start with Coolio's "The Winner" and why I like this song. So Coolio, may him rest in peace. But I just like the motivation that he delivers in this song. A lot of knowledge. Let's see. What is a lyric I like? Uh, yeah. So I like. All right. So I like that in the first verse how it goes. You gotta take control because fools don't have to be old. You can do anything you want to do. All you got to do is put your brain into it. Take your time and educate your mind. In the long run, I'm sure you're fine. If you can walk the walk, you can talk the talk, but don't Wait too long because life is short. And remember, no matter what they telling you, if you try, you can be a winner too. Just it's like positive rap that I think a lot of people wanted to hear from rappers during that time. So I mean that's one of the things I liked about. I really just like the message behind the song, and then music video I thought was pretty funny too. Just kids sneaking, ditching school, stealing the dude's laptop. Coolio's there, going to the back alley. Coolio's there, uh, trying to go to the movie theater. Coolio's there, and then when they run back to school, Coolio was there donating computers like they said they'd do in the music video. So I thought it was kind of creative music video, but really overall, just like the positivity in the song. And shout out to LV also. He was uncredited, but one of the many contributors to this soundtrack with that chorus there. Any thoughts on the winner?
Yes, this is honestly my least favorite song on the album, but
Mm,
I mean, it
fair.
wasn't horrible. There were some very good songs on the album. It was an inspirational song. If you keep on pushing, you could be a winner. It
Mm.
was like very inspirational. It just wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so I'll do another one. Let me go to Basketball Jones. Now, this song I thought was real funny. I love the shout outs that Chris Rock does, like toward the end of the song, just shouting out all sorts of people. Barry White, on the other hand, you think that you hear Barry White, you think he's gonna be singing, but he doesn't. He's just like they talk, and then just the singer is just like Basketball Jones, and the cheerleaders. I got a basketball Jones. I thought, yeah, I thought it was just funny overall, and then yeah, that's just some of the stuff he was saying. I see you running after Alonzo, meaning Alonzo Mourning. I see you chasing Penny around. And then a part where he's like, was that Babyface? Basketball joke? Was that Oh DeBarge? It must have been Smokey Robinson. I guess that was me. Yeah, Chris Rock was just so hilarious. And then
Yeah,
just shouting out everyone. Kenny Anderson in the house. Mike Tyson shoots the ball against the wall. Yeah, just Bill Walton in the house, Dr. J and Bob Costas and just shouting out at everybody. It was a funny song, just overall. And even Michael Jordan makes an appearance too. Like I don't sing, I see. Yeah.
yeah.
Any thoughts
It was a
on Basketball Jones?
Yeah, it was a very good song. I liked how they put it when Charles Barkley is in the movie and he's
Oh
just
yeah,
sad because he's lost his talent and they start playing that song. I thought that was so apt. It was so fitting. All of the things that the players were doing to try to get their talent back was so fitting. They were
yeah.
they were in church, they was at the psychiatrist, they was in the hospital,
Oh,
they went to acupuncture, they went to the tarot lady who she told them exactly what happened. She's like, some alien stole your talent and now they're doing a basketball game with Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes land. And they like,
huh?
girl, we out of here. So I thought that was really good, and the song was really, really fitting. I liked it.
Yeah, yeah, very, very fitting song. Yeah, the placement of it was funny. So yeah, it was just funny. Yeah, the part where they're in the hospital, Muggsy Bogues walking with a doctor, and then the other three just that was hilarious. That was one of the funniest parts of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. For you, I will. What do you like about this one?
Just one of those. It's like probably Monica's most iconic song to me. It's one of the songs I really remember. I don't particularly remember. I don't like particularly associate it with Space Jam, but I just remember loving this song in general. Monica says this was a statement record for her. She her quote was, "I'm a young woman that's from urban America that speaks to a very specific crowd at times, but I want it to be clear that I'm not limited to one genre or the other." So I like that she is trying to, get out of her genre and show other things she was capable of, because she wasn't often doing like these power ballads, and
No.
she really showed her voice on there. I like the video. The video was kind of bizarre though, when she's like
Yeah.
walking through the movie theater by herself, and then she's fiddling with the camera, like, what's going on here? And then she's watching Space Jam alone in the movie theater and just like smiling and stuff. It was pretty funny. But the song, they're showing clips of the Space Jam moments in the video,
Yeah.
and it's like all of the most like loving moments in a video, like when Bugs Bunny pushes Lola out the way and gets hit by a monster,
Oh
when
yeah.
you know Michael Jordan is hugging his daughter in the film, and when Stan finally finds Michael Jordan. Why do I keep calling him Michael Jackson? He finally
That's
finds
Michael
Michael Jordan
Jordan.
and hugs him. I thought it was also funny that this guy is named Stan, and he's like standing for Michael Jordan in 1996 before Stan ever even comes out. So
Well,
I really liked it. I wish it would have actually been in the movie. It
yeah,
wasn't in the
yeah. I think it
movie.
was one of three songs in the not in the movie. The other one was uh the winner that we just talked about. That wasn't in the movie, and I believe all of my days. Yeah, all of my days wasn't in the movie either. With R. Kelly, Jay Z, and Changing Faces and Bugging. That wasn't in the
Yeah.
movie either. Well,
I
technically,
found my smile again.
yeah,
Yeah.
technically, for you, I will. It was in the movie. It was at the end credits, if that counts for anything. But I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did like the montage at the end of the movie where they showed clips throughout the movie and then going to the different songs. So I thought that was pretty cool. They did a very good job of mixing that up.
Yeah.
As for me, with "For You I Will," very good song, very iconic Monica song, one of my favorite Monica songs. Just very, very. I think she really cemented her legacy with this song. Definitely an honorable mention. Just a great overall song. Don't really got too much else to say about it, but very good. And then we go to my final pick. The one of the other singles from this, "Hit 'Em High," which featured "Be Real" from Cypress Hill, Coolio once again, Method Man, LL Cool J, and Busta Rhymes. First and foremost, I thought everyone did a very good job, with their performances. But if I got to go best verses, it's a toss up for me, between Method Man and LL Cool J. Probably got to go. I don't know, LL. Well, after I'm
Me
done,
too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, LL Cool J. You think he had the best verse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a good song. I think it, overall, did a good job of presenting the Monstars. I like how I'm not the biggest fan of black and white music videos, once again, but I do like how, they came out with all zeros, everything, imitating the Monstars for the most part. Um, I like I think LL Cool J did have the best verse. I like how, they all took turns of the pie. Be Real first, Coolio, Method Man, and LL, then, Busta Rhymes at the end. I thought all of them did fabulous job with that. Beat I thought went hard, and I think it's a travesty that it is not on streaming services. And I also forgot to say that if you're watching this, you'll see that anything that's grayed out at the time of this recording is not on streaming services. So yeah, that just totally sucks. But yeah, same thing with Basketball Jones too. Another one of my favorites, and not on streaming services as of right now. Hopefully, there is a day where Warner Brothers just puts the whole soundtrack on, and you can listen to it however you want. Otherwise, gotta listen to it. Um, gotta listen to it in other ways, I guess. I do have the soundtrack on vinyl, by the way. But anyway, what were your thoughts um, on "Hit 'Em High"?
I loved how they kind of embraced their, the villain, these monstars. They embraced their villain role. I
Mm.
like when LL Cool J is like, my monstars is getting money. When clicks get to bugging, I'm snatching up their bunnies. I thought it was really good the way they like just embraced that villain role and this was the most hip hop
Yeah, it was.
song
Mm.
on the album.
Yeah, that one, and I guess the winner for whatever you want. I mean, it definitely was the least. That hit 'em high was definitely the better of the two. Definitely, if I'm comparing both the two songs there. Um, but that, like I said, and then I also do like how LL Cool J, definitely keeping up with the times in terms of because '80s rapper, came out. He's doing it with a bunch of dudes who pretty much dropped in the '90s. Be Real '91, Coolio that probably like around the same time '91. And Method Man came out, '93 with Wu Tang, Busta Rhymes. He hadn't been out too much long himself, so yeah. So I thought it was a good combination of the old with the new, if that makes sense. And L showing that hey, he can still do it after all these years. That's probably why I feel like he had the best verse of the five in that song. So I would have to say one of my favorite part is I'm 28 light years old. If refs get political, dribble like Bob Dole. Am I getting lyrical, Daddy? I think so. Monstar dropping flavored fluid, so drink slow. So I thought that verse part of the verse went hard, but yeah, I think he did have the best verse. So all right. With that being said, well, we got through our favorite songs and the singles that we figured we were obligated to talk about with the popularity. All right, so going through the rest of this, there were no album cuts or expansions, but it is on vinyl, and I didn't have my vinyl prepared, so give me just a minute. All right, so yep, the vinyl holding it up once again right here. So it is on vinyl. I got it from that one from Barnes and Noble myself, so it is available at the time of this recording anyway. So feel free to go get it. But like I said, just nothing, no new tracks, no hidden tracks or anything like that. Recommendations. So I tried to go with some other high profile soundtracks that featured primarily rap and or hip hop and R&B from '96. So I found three movies, and I'll give another one honorable mention after this is over. Bulletproof was a movie that starred Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler. The name of that was Music from the Motion Picture Bulletproof. So I believe Salt and Pepper has a track on that one, and they sing on this one here. The movie Set It Off. Set It Off, music from the New Line Cinema Motion Picture. They have a great song from Bone Thugs and Harmony, Days of Our Lives, one of my favorites from them. So check out that soundtrack. And then High School High, the soundtrack. High School High was a comedy. I think it was like a spoof comedy, spoofing like drama, like high school like drama movies at the time, like The Substitute, The Principal, yeah, movies of that. But it's a funny movie. Um, I know Spice One, E40, and some others were on that one, so check them out if you get a chance.
One soundtrack I would recommend that's kind of along the same lines of like a hip hop soundtrack with a kid movie is that Rugrats movie. This would
Mm,
have came out a couple years later in '98, but I really liked
mm.
Maya and Blackstreet were on there.
Oh
It was
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, that'd be another one too. That'd probably be honorable mention. Another honorable mention I had came from the same year. I know Coolio sang on this one as well. It was the Eddie soundtrack, and Eddie was another basketball movie with Whoopi Goldberg. But I promise you, the next soundtrack we do will not be a basketball movie. So we won't be doing basketball movie soundtracks for a while. So if you're holding your breath for Sunset Park or any other ones that you thought we might be doing, just hold off on those. All right. Closing thoughts. What are you taking back to your playlist? Would you recommend? Let's hear it.
Well, you probably guessed it. I'm taking back to my playlist. I found my smile again.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot
I,
of
I
these,
knew it. I knew it. I knew. I knew it. I knew
a
it.
lot,
I knew.
a lot of these songs I've heard many times before, but this was one that it's new to me, and I was like, oh, this is fire. So I'm taking that back. Uh, great movie, great soundtrack. I think, like you said in the beginning, the music is probably going to last a little longer than the movie. Long after we stop, watching Space Jam as frequently, the music is living on. So I would recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I'd probably take back "Fly Like an Eagle." Back to the playlist. Basketball Jones, if I can find a way, since that you kind of can't listen to that on streaming services. And otherwise, yeah, same thing with Hit 'Em High. Just that would be another one I'd want to take back. The winner I've heard enough, so I'm probably not taking the winners. The Space Jam song, I Believe I Could Fly. For you, I will. I probably won't be taking that one back. But Fly Like an Eagle, I could see that in my everyday rotation. That's probably a very underrated song in my opinion. Off the whole
Yeah.
soundtrack. Uh,
Yeah, iconic. If R. Kelly hadn't done that, that would have been the song.
yeah. All right. So you heard what we thought about the Space Jam soundtrack. What do you guys think? What are your favorite tracks? What do you have on your playlist from this soundtrack? Let us know in the comments. For Netta, aka Wanderous Net, I'm Justin. Too Tall for You Fool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next one. Later.